Wake up in the morning with my bed. Waking for the money like I don't care. I get my money on me.
Welcome to this episode of I'm Creating Jobs. This is a program where we take you around Zimbabwe, showcasing some of the youths doing what they can to create employment for themselves and others. Today, we have two entrepreneurs whose businesses most probably resonate with young people: clothing and fitness. In today's world, what is the latest fashion trend that isn't going anywhere anytime soon? No, it's not the skinny jeans, nor the hoodie, nor the statement tees. It's giving consumers the ability to wear their values.
We are generally into the clothing branding business. I think we split it into two. We were trying to just have people come in and have their clothes branded by us. And then over time, people started liking what we're doing, so we had to try and create a signature name for ourselves. And then in the process, people wanted clothes with that signature name. So we ended up splitting into two departments. That's the brand, like a clothing brand called Lucid, and then Lucid Print, which is the print side of like getting clothes, caps, cups.
How did the name come about?
It's a funny story. It's a word I had recently bumped into, and it was different. I had actually never heard the word, so I was so interested in finding out what it meant. So I heard it's aligned with lucid dreaming, which is pretty much being in control of your dreams. And a lot of my friends will sort of describe me as a dreamer who really believes in whatever he dreams. Like a lot of the things that I told myself I want to achieve, I really try by all means to chase them. So I found the name very suiting to what we were trying to do, and also in a way we wanted it to be a meaningful name to anyone else who's going to be in support of what we do as a brand, to know that it's not just clothes, it's something that's supposed to inspire you, it's something that's supposed to push you, it's something that's supposed to be meaningful. It's like pretty much landing to clothes with a meaning.
On the other hand, the concepts of wellness and mindfulness have become important for consumers, with fitness becoming a more relevant goal for many people. And with COVID-19 restrictions, public gyms are no longer a viable option for many.
Basically, FitBody is it's a fitness company. We were into supply of equipment, fitness accessories and supplements. So we started in 2016 as Dance Pre-owned sports shop.
The story of this 23-year-old is stunning. After failing to get a scholarship to study in the US about 4 years ago, he did not give up. He thought of playing golf, maybe follow the footsteps of Zimbabwe's professional golfers like Nick Price, Scott Vicent, and Tongona Charamba. When this plan didn't come to fruition, Nkosana had to take a detour to self-fulfillment.
I had to take a gap year, so I wanted something to do in the meantime while I was waiting to get into college. So I have always had an interest in playing golf, but I didn't have the equipment. So my search for a golf set took me to the auction floors around Harare and Home Sales. So I came across this golf set that I wanted, but in that same auction floor there was also a fitness bike or an elliptical that was there. So instead of bidding for the golf set, I ended up going for the exercise bike. So I bought that bike, took it home, and I cleaned it a bit, and I oiled it, greased it, then I was using it at home. Then after like 3 or so weeks, I was obviously out of money, and I thought of selling that bike. So I put it up on online, and I sold it for something like 2.5 times the cost price. So it was at that point that I spotted the opportunity in the local market, that the market was in need of fitness equipment, but at an affordable price. Because you find that the current players who are into this business, you find that most of the shops are found in the upmarket areas, and the price tend to be bid on the high price. So there was obviously a gap in the market to provide something of high quality, but at a very affordable price. So that's when we looked into getting into pre-owned and actually locally made fitness goods.
He says he now plays golf once in a while, but his focus for now is supplying fitness equipment. He's focused on growing this business of supplying reliable and affordable pre-owned fitness equipment to fitness enthusiasts in Zimbabwe, together with his friend Stephen Goredema. But it has not been rosy, he says. Since working out at home has not been a huge trend in Zimbabwe.
Obviously, being a startup, someone coming out of high school, obviously there wasn't much capital to start with, you know. So basically, I started with one thing and I had to resell it to make more funds to buy the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, you know. So it hasn't been an easy ride, but trust me, we have managed to soldier on and push through, you know. Obviously, with the economic situation in the country, you can imagine how it is. If they obviously can affect the big boys, you can then obviously us, the small boys, we're going to suffer. But we've tried to our best, our level best to do it. So capital, we tried to source capital, a bit of capital. I got a loan from my parents, and I managed to source in some goods from overseas in South Africa, pre-owned goods. That's what we're doing now, and we've also got into partnerships with some guys locally who are actually manufacturing equipment here in Zimbabwe, like this bench which you see here. This is locally manufactured. That one is locally manufactured, and we find that our price now is almost half the price of something brand new which is sold at our market shops. Okay, no, day-to-day business got a challenge of capital. That's number one. That's the major, in fact. Then the issue of logistics. Issue of space to run the business. As you can see that I'm running the business in a garage at my parents' house. That's where we're running this business. So obviously, if you try to establish a shop in the CBD or in other shopping centers, you find that there is the challenge of competition from the other players, competition from the different sectors guys who are there. So find that the rentals are a bit on the high price.
Despite all these ups and downs, Nkomazana still believes there is a solution, and the lockdown has brought with it certain opportunities as more and more fitness enthusiasts turn to home workouts. In the meantime, he's focused on servicing his Harare market and one day soon going national. And this will be possible with support from various stakeholders, including policymakers and big businesses.
First, from the government, obviously we would like to have loans accessible. And I'm aware there's a scheme that they were running whereby they were availing loans to youth-run businesses. But then I actually participated in that, and to be honest, the application process was long and some of the requirements were not able to meet, because I remember one of the requirements we were supposed to be running for 3 years. So you can imagine running a business for 3 years and you're only starting up. And this is the point where you need the finances when you're starting. So you only need it maybe within the first month or so. That's when you need most capital. But they wanted someone who had been in business for 3 years. So obviously it kind of logged us out of that scheme, you see. Then number two is to make the process a bit easier to do, a bit easier to follow, you know, because now I find you have to go through agents, you have to go through consultants, and these guys obviously they charge high amounts. As a startup, you can't afford to have those overheads. You know, you're trying to keep everything as lean as possible.
Such calls have become common from youths about the need for government to come up with policies that speak to financial inclusion and access to capital, for youths who want to participate in the economy in a meaningful way. With COVID-19 causing havoc and some businesses set to close, entrepreneurship has helped a few, like Fit Body, remain afloat.
With the lockdown, it has been positive. Business has been positive because we've seen that our business has always been online. We do most of our sales online, 99% of the sales are online, and we just deliver around. So as the lockdown came, we were not restricted from trading because we don't run a brick and mortar store. So people can still place orders at the comfort of their homes. Then we just deliver around. So if you just look at it, let's say from the 20th of March till now, we find that the business has grown by more than 60%. It's because also what aided us was the closure of gyms. When the gyms are closed now, so people are trying to build their own fitness corners at home, so they've been ordering equipment.
Fitness apps, technology, and access to affordable workout equipment such as Fit Body is the answer for most people. And as the adage goes, there's always a silver lining to a dark cloud. And so it has been even with COVID-19. Join us after the break as we follow in depth the journey of the team at Lucid.
Don't stop, never resist. Turn them haters into them work process. 1 out of 99 problems.
Welcome back to the second segment of today's episode. 28-year-old Clive Tinotenda Msindo is the founder of Lucid, a fashion design company which he runs with other two youths. After finishing his undergraduate studies, Lucid, as is affectionately known, felt that getting employment was not his destiny. Entrepreneurship was. But why the fashion industry?
I don't know. The weird thing about me is I don't have a side that I say I lean on. I can say I'm a creativepreneur. So something that involves creating something, it's something that's always going to intrigue me. So for clothes, it was easier because I already was someone who was into clothing. Like as an individual, I liked the seeing new clothes. I liked the fact that I could twist a clothing item into something that I like. I could write with a pen and it would feel different. Get a brand new shirt and then just write my name on it and I would feel like, yeah, this is now better. And I feel like low key, I then just started seeing that this could be something because some of my friends started asking me, yo, can you do this on my shirt? Can you do this on my t-shirt for like house competitions? And that was like back in high school. So it was something that I think I was subtly interested in. Like I was already sold in that idea. But in terms of diversification, even with our vision, it's not just clothes. It's not just clothes. We are trying to spread as much as we can in different departments because now we're doing portraits, we're doing paintings, we're doing a whole lot of things. Because we managed to transform what seemed like my dream into something that can be a hub for everyone else who's a creative. Because I remember when I finished university, that was 2017 at Midland State, I was sort of struggling to find my foot because I started media, and I was trying to understand where exactly can I go and work, and what skill set do I possess that can be that outstanding. And a lot of the times we were sending CVs and no one was responding. I had friends who could do graphic designing and no one was paying them good proper payment for the jobs that they were doing. I knew someone who could paint. I knew someone who was good at marketing in general. So I think once I found my foot in this sector, I then felt like it was my mission now to look for other people who have passion for being a creative and everything, and try and create a platform from them so that they can be empowered in any way that I can help. So like for instance, if we have like for example that pair of sneakers there, it's from Bata, right? But then we found this young boy who came to me and wanted to show me what he was doing. To him, I think I was someone who was actually important because he came to me and was like, yo, this is what I do. I paint and everything. And I'm like, no, why don't you come through and then we can try and work on a project together and then see how people respond to it. So we did a number of items and then people started responding positively. So when we saw that platform open for that young man, we decided that it's better off us as a brand take the responsibility to identify some of the individuals that are our age that are also struggling to have like something happening for themselves and try and empower them with whichever way we can find. So now if a big company comes to us and they start telling us that they might need portraits done on their walls and everything, we know an individual. So instead of this person being unidentified because there's no one who's talking about him, we are there to talk about him under our brand. So someone will come to us and say, for instance, you guys are doing t-shirts, what else do you do? And they're like, no, we do a lot of things. What exactly do you want us to do for you? And if they want something that's in line with the people that we know, we try to bring them through and then just tell them, nah, this is part of Lucid and we can do it for you. And like that, we grow as a brand and we are growing others as well.
He says he has no time to dwell on challenges, be they financial or otherwise. He wants to focus on solutions instead and keep moving on. But that's not to say there are no challenges that need to be addressed.
I think in terms of market reach, we're still facing challenges because there are certain companies that don't take us seriously, maybe because of us being a young company. Because the oldest person in our company is me, which is 27. The next person is 24, the next person is 21. That's pretty much the whole company. It's filled with young people. So now trying to convince these guys that something as huge as maybe 10,000 t-shirts order is something we can handle, they always seem to take us for granted. And also approaching them is always an issue because there are always bigger companies that seem to have the upper hand when it comes to dealing with bigger companies. So we are always the last option unless someone sees our work and then they're happy with it. Then they try to go via someone and they ask, "Yo, we saw this. Can you tell us who did that?" I think that's how we got most of the jobs that we have. The current order that we are working on is someone who saw something that we did for someone. Otherwise, I think if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have this company coming to us with such an order. And also, in terms of material, I think also now because of the current financial situation in Zimbabwe, we had some money saved up, but it was in RTGS. Now converting to that now and trying to get material to sustain stocks and everything, it's been a challenge on our side. Because usually, if things were flowing, all those shelves, like the empty ones, should have T-shirts. So that if someone comes in, they know, I want a black T-shirt, I want a white T-shirt, I want an orange T-shirt. We literally just point to no, that they get from that, get from that, get from that, or choose from that. But now we literally making things as per order. Like someone comes through and they want something, we give them a deadline, like a timeline, depending on what they want. If the order is big, then we give you at least 2 days or a day, so that we can try and source the funds to get the material and then produce your product.
What can be done to resolve this?
I think the first thing, apart from just helping financially, identifying and acknowledging what the youth are doing. Because I know for a fact I have a lot of colleagues in this industry and outside of this industry that are doing a lot of things that can actually bring in good benefits to the country. But the struggle is on how we are taken. We are usually taken as people who are just trying to make a living, like make the day goes by. Like you're just kids, you just want money to party and everything. Of which most of us, we even have personal responsibilities. We even have life responsibilities that we are actually taking care of because of what we're doing right now. We have mothers who are retired. Some of us have sisters who don't work, and it's something that we are now the people that they are looking at because of what we're doing. So maybe if we could get recognized first and get the type of attention that they give to big organization in a way, try and give us the same attention, try and give us the same platforms, the ZITFs and everything for the smaller individuals growing up, so that we can also get a platform to set up and then get helped link up with big organizations, get a bigger network, get us to go outside and learn. Because most of the things that we know about this industry is things that we learned on our own. But in as much as we want to be independent, it's always great if we could like exchange ideas with people from outside. So maybe if we could get exposed to like expos, trades, where we could go outside, or these people can come in and we can interact and share ideas. They show us how they do what they do. We show them how we do what we do, and then in the process we grow. And of course, I think financial aid here and there would make it better.
Such platforms as these on television might be the answer for dialogue between young entrepreneurs and policymakers. Retailers and big businesses need to come on board and support the startups for growth, recognition, and mentorship, especially during the initial steps into the business world. Please join us in the third and final segment after the break.
Don't stop, never resist. Them haters, them work process. 1 out of 99 problems.
The question for policymakers should be, how do we encourage young people to get into business? One of the ways is to create a safe space for ideas. Divergent thinking is most likely to thrive in an environment that welcomes all types of ideas, encourages risk-taking, and allows for fast failure and learning for the future. And young people are especially fit for this.
Start with what we have. You don't need to have lots of money to start. The best thing to do is just to start with whatever you have. I started with one golf set and got one bike, that's where we started. Just have to build the skin in the game, just do what's there, to build skin in the game. And the next thing you're gonna advance and get onto the other things. Because we started on equipment, we're now into accessories, we're now into supplements. We've introduced our energy drinks into leading retail, one of the leading retailers in Zimbabwe. So all from just one bike, which we started with. Yeah.
And what's the advice from Lucid?
I think people should believe in their determination. Determination is something that can push you a long way. Because I think 3/4 of the things that we have achieved, apart from support that I get from my friends and the people around us, is because we were determined. We always feel like, if so-and-so can do this, why can we not be the same person? Why can we not do that? So we always strive and we always strive to be the best in what we do. We always determined to make sure that we deliver the best, and we always determined to accomplish whatever we set as our goals. So for every individual out there that's trying whatever they're doing, I feel like don't underestimate the power of determination. Try by all means to push and believe in you first more than anything. Don't believe in someone else coming in to give you a handout. Don't believe in the power of capital. Don't believe in COVID-19. Don't believe in the political or economical issues pushing you down. Believe in you first and push as much as you can. You will always get something at the end of the day.
And looking into the future, what do our entrepreneurs have?
In 5 years' time, COVID or not, I think we should be international by then. As a brand, I think we should be international by then. Because right now, we've managed to penetrate part of South Africa because of the people in Zimbabwe that are wearing our clothes and going that side. And when they go that side, we start getting messages that someone was saying they like what we're doing, and they're wondering if we have a shop in South Africa. The next person is now trying to understand. And the fact that there are people outside of Zimbabwe that are appreciating what we're doing shows us that we can actually go out there and make a difference, and also be part of the big names when it comes to brands. Because right now I know they're international, they're South African brands that are now international, and these people are pretty much in the same way doing what we're doing. So my dream is in 5 years, I don't want to call it a dream, okay, maybe because I usually live in my dreams. In 5 years, I think we're going to be international, and we probably should be one of the companies that people should be looking at in Zimbabwe as a big company that created employment, a big company that created opportunities for other people that are growing up.
And the home fitness equipment supply chain.
Basically, what we want to achieve in the next 5 years, we want to be the Amazon of fitness. We want to be the go-to guys in terms of fitness. If you want supplements, if you want equipment, accessories, we're also looking into establishing our own health clubs. And we want to incorporate artificial intelligence into fitness. So we find that in the developed countries are already doing it, but it's something the way Africa is still lagging behind. But we're looking into introducing that in the local market in Zimbabwe.
Although most parents still think of traditional career choices for their children, clearly the choices are wider now. The beginning of entrepreneurial journey might be as simply as encouraging your children to ask questions on how things are done in certain ways and not others. Teaching them to look at problems and find solutions. When there are challenges, this forces young people to begin thinking of alternatives, and in this thinking, jobs are created. Till next week, here's to thinking outside the box and creating jobs.
Yeah, I'ma hype it up on my progress. Never gonna stop, never resist. Telling them haters is a damn burn process. 1 out of 99 problems. I'ma hype it up on my progress. Never gonna stop, never resist. Telling them haters is a damn burn process. 1 out of 99 problems.
I don't want it, everyone for live long time. I pray that all my demons don't come back knocking for me at the wrong time. On my knees saying, Mama, won't you pray for me? Cause I know that you're the one that's down for me, Mama, you gon' love me long time. I'ma step up onto my grind.
I'ma hype it up on my progress. Never gonna stop, never resist.